Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm trying a new microphone setup with StreamYard. So let's check and see if y'all can hear me. Yes, y'all can. Awesome. Awesome sauce. All right, so let's get right into the video. This is not going to be a long one. I have a lot to do today, and I have some other content to work on today as well. I don't know why my hair is wonky on this side, but of course, that's not the topic of this video. Today, we're going to talk about sorry mothers. So I received a request from one of my Patreon members. Patreon members get exclusive content from me. And she wrote me a beautiful, beautiful message. Thank you so much for the beautiful message you sent me. It was really, really beautiful. And I just loved it so much. So I'm going to put up the message that she sent me. Her name is not in this message because Patreon is a private community. It's a private space for women of character and substance, for wives. I have a tier for single women. I have a tier for married women. So she says, "Hi, Kim. Recently joined this community to support you because, wow, your message is important. Is it possible for you to do a video directed to mothers with older daughters? You speak so highly of your mom and grandmother and how their wisdom influenced who you are. Unfortunately, a lot of us did not have that blessing. I consider myself the curse breaker in my line. I'm the first to be married so long, hopefully forever. One father to all my children, first to raise my children under one solid household, no abuse, drugs, and the list goes on. This did not happen to me on purpose. I was a bit lost. It was the grace of God and an awareness I wanted better for my children. Putting all that aside, it would be so great if you can share wisdom taught to you, things your mom and grandma told you, lessons they taught you, advice they gave you, what helped you stay on course and allow your pressure or temptation to affect you, what kept you focused on your goals." I'm sorry for the length of this message, just wanted to be there. All right, so thank you so much for that comment. Thank you for being part of Patreon community. We need more women to come together and bond together so that we can be the best woman we can be. So first of all, what I want to say is every mother is not a good mother. You know, there's a message out here in society that makes you special or that gives you some special wisdom. Oh, moms are great. Moms try their best. And listen, I believe all mothers love their children. Some women should have just never had children, just because they are not equipped. They're just not equipped to be mothers. Okay, maybe from past abuse, maybe from the way they were raised, whatever the circumstance, they just are not equipped to be mothers, and they should have never been mothers. Emotionally unbalanced, mentally unbalanced, and unwilling to do the work that it takes to get themselves to a space that's healthy for a child. So let's clear about that. Everybody's not a good mother. Everybody doesn't want to be a good mother. Motherhood, even though it should be the priority, motherhood is not the priority for everyone that has children. And so let's stop it with the BS. Okay, we know that everybody that's a mom is not a good mom, and the Bible tells us to honor our mother and our father, and I wholeheartedly believe in that. And I believe that if your parents hurt you, there is forgiveness to be had there, but it doesn't mean that we take accountability from our parents for the mistakes and flaws that they may have that affected us as children. And so I want to be very clear about that. Everybody is not a good mom, just like every father is not a good father. All right. So what made me want to get into this video is because I think a lot of you amazing mothers who are raising girls, you hear me talk about my experience of being raised by my mother, and nobody comes from a perfect home. I'm not trying to present like, oh, my mom's perfect, my dad's perfect, everybody was perfect. No, nobody has a perfect life. Nobody came from a 100% perfect home. Nobody has perfect anything. But some people were raised in homes that were overall healthy. emotionally balanced, and they were spiritual. You know, I grew up in a home with God-fearing parents that raised me in church, even when I hated to go to church and didn't want to go to church. And it was like, oh, we got to go to church again. You know, my parents stuck to their guns and they stuck to their morals and their values. And they were really strict with me in certain areas. In other areas, they gave me the freedom to be who I am. And so I want to show a clip from, hi, Mary. I'm so glad you're able to catch a live. I'm going to show a clip from this celebrity, Johnny Blaze. Now, most of us, you won't know who Johnny Blaze is because she's one of those like Instagram models slash rapper artist slash reality TV star. And a lot of you don't watch that trash. But I watch a lot of different things because I want to know what's going on with the culture. I want to know what our young girls are being influenced to do. So I force myself to watch a little bit of reality TV, not religiously, but I force myself to listen to the music that's being put out. I force myself to read articles. I force myself to do this because I'm a content creator. And it's very, very important to me to share content that is current and that is affecting our young girls right now at this moment. When I say young girls, I'm really speaking of girls, you know, in their 20s, because I'm far removed from my 20s. You know, I'm so far removed from my 20s, even though, you know, people say I look young, you know, I still am a young woman, but I'm not in my 20s. So, you know, I'm mindset in 20s. I understand where I was in life, my foolish thinking. And all of you mothers are worried about, am I being a good mom? How do I know if I'm being a good mom? How do I you know, promote marriage to my daughter? How do I teach her the values and morals that I want her to have? I'm going to give you one simple answer, and this is going to cover it. And then I will do on community periodically, and I will do what you asked of me. I'll tell you stories about me and my mother, you know, areas that I think my mother could have done better in, areas where my mother excelled. I'll do that in that. But let's look at this video. So John Blaze, I told you who she was, if you don't know. She recently came out and talked about abuse that she experienced in her childhood. And I want you to listen to this young woman who is now, you know, kind of twerking up on Instagram. She's kind of like over sexualized. We know that sexual abuse, that is one result of sexual abuse in some women. This is not my opinion. This has been proven with psychologists and data and statistics that one thing that happens to women, that can happen to women who are either molested, abused, raped, is that they become overtly sexual. This is what has happened to this young lady, in my opinion, is the reason why she's so overtly sexual. That tends to happen to people who are abused. I'm assuming, I'm not a psychologist, I'm assuming it's because when someone devalues you in that way, you have a hard time connecting to your body as something precious and valuable. So don't look at sex or your body or you know, sexual attention as something that's a part of your soul, your spirit. You kind of just look at it. This is a thing. It was already taken from me. It doesn't matter. So I'm assuming. But if you want more research on that, just Google all that there. So let's listen to this.
Nobody is saying that you hurt your children. It's more of something that you did, and usually children despise their parents and hate their parents for having your stepfather watch you with compact mirrors under your bed, under your door when you're showering. I didn't get him locked up. I still pretended to go to holidays with my mom and my siblings. I still smiled in front of everybody. I still went to Christmases and holidays in that same house. And you guys see me all the time where I post my mom. And I couldn't post my mom and book it because I don't care what people think. Forgiveness is a big word. Gotta forgive people. I forgave my mother, but I forgave my mom. But just because I speak about it to help people grow and help myself grow does not mean I hate my mother. This is my last time speaking on this. I will not speak on this no more as far as addressing about what my mom and me have going on.
Girl, is until Johnny Blaze shit.
The choice to be in an insane asylum. I still love, of course, interviews. People ask me about my childhood, and it really wasn't that great. But I always tell people, they're like, but you say your mom's your best friend and you love her unconditionally. Yes, I do. Even after my stepfather, I still love my mom, even though she sent me to my father or either gave me a choice to be in an insane asylum. I still love my mom. And the reason why I'm doing this live, which is so stupid, which is really crazy because you guys probably know me for so long to be like the person that's always drama and stuff. But if you know me now, I've changed so much. So I feel like it pointed across very easily because I'm calmer. What bothers me is that when people ask me stuff, I live in my truth. When I was on Love and Pop, they wanted to have a highlight on what mom did to me, and I was younger. I didn't want to do it because I cared more about my baby brother in school being picked on because of what his father did to me. So I declined talking about it on the show. When me and my mom got cool again, I decided I'm going to live in my truth. I can't sit here and hide the fact of what she did. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it because there's so many people out here that hide their truth and then they become monsters. And that's what I was becoming if I didn't get the help I needed in the person that I am right now. So I don't personally even, speak as much to my mom because it's something recently happened. I'm trying to get out this video that she posted. I'm not understanding how a person can switch and make it seem like I'm wrong for speaking about something that happened to me. I didn't say you love me. You still love me. But you can tell me in front of people. You tell me.
All right, so I'm going to stop there. We get the gist of what's going on with Johnny Blaze and her mother. Unfortunately, this is on social media, and it shouldn't be. It's a family issue, a private issue. But, people share, and they have a right to, and that's their business. But just to kind of bring it all together, she was molested. If you hear molested is bleeped out of the video, but she basically says, I was molested by my stepfather. Okay. And I believe she's inferred that this happened to her on more than one occasion, but I know for sure she said that it was her stepfather, and apparently her mother knew. I do really have a lot of respect for Johnny Blaze. I don't know her real name, but whatever her name is, I have respect for her for getting the help that she needs and forgive her mother. Because forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. When you forgive someone, it's not for the other person. It's for you. It's so that you don't kill yourself. Okay. It's so that you can function as a normal human being, whatever normal is, without hurting people out, fighting, drinking yourself to death, taking drugs, eating yourself to death. A lot of us have a problem with overeating, things of that nature. It's for you. That you don't destroy yourself. It's really not the other person. It's for you. And so I really I thought it was so powerful and impactful, and that she will be very influential in the lives of young girls who have been molested and sexually abused, and showing them how to overcome such a horrible thing happening to you. But here's the problem I have with her mother. Her mother went online and she did a video and she was like, oh yeah, you're putting me out there to the world. I never did anything but protect you. I worked 3 jobs. Cry Me a River. Okay. And this goes back to the question that I received from my Patreon member. She said, you know, you always speak so highly of your mother and your grandmother. What did they tell you? And it's not just what they told me, it's how they lived. So, mommy, you're fine. You're fine. Because you, as a mom, the first thing a mom can do to be a good mom is to choose a good man to procreate with. That is the first thing a mother can do to teach her daughter morals, values, and how to pick a man. The first thing a mother can do is be very mindful about who she procreates with. Because at the end of the day, we know there are a lot of deadbeat dads, there are a lot of fathers that leave. We know all that. But as a woman, it's our job to protect our wombs. It is our job to make sure the men, and it shouldn't even be the men, the man that you choose to marry and lay down with is responsible, loves you, is committed to you, wants a family, and is those to you before you give birth. Okay. And we know things happen. We know things happen. Relationships break up, marriage break up, but that's not the story for most. Most people didn't do right to begin with. So we need to cut the crap. Okay. Let's cut the crap and be real about the things that we do and stop making excuses. Because most of us know when we're doing something we got no business doing. I know I do. So let's just cut it. So the first thing you did, mom, is you married a man. That's your husband. You raised all your kids under the same roof. There's no abuse or drugs or anything abusive going on in your household. The number one thing you can influence your young daughters or your daughters going to into adulthood is to show them how you love your husband and he loves you and y'all love each other and y'all have a healthy relationship. That is the most influential thing a mother can do for her daughter, is to show her daughter what a healthy, loving, balanced relationship is. That is the most healthy thing a mother can do in the area of trying to get your daughter in the direction of having morals and values. Be her role model. You be the role model. Show her how you and your husband love each other, adore each other, work together, work through problems, work through issues. You're a family. You're going to stick together. You're going to do right. Show your daughter that. And that will influence her, because that's what influenced me the most. The best thing my mother ever did for me was marry a decent man that didn't leave me and abandon me. That was my father from the beginning all the way till now as a grown woman. So the biggest thing a mother can do is to be a living, walking example of how to be a woman of character, grace, and style. And it doesn't mean you're perfect, and it doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes. My mom is not perfect. My parents aren't perfect, but they want to live right and they want to do the right thing. And that was revealed to me. So no, I don't have much respect for Johnny Blaze's mother. I don't, because she's making herself the victim. She's making herself the victim instead of saying, you know, I am so devastated. My daughter is hurt and dealing with my poor choice in men. My poor choice in men led my daughter to be sexually molested, abused, mistreated. And then I am such a sorry mother. This is what she needs to be saying about herself. This is really what she needs to be saying about herself. And I respect Johnny Blaze because she told people, don't go on social media. Don't harass my mother. I've forgiven my mother. I want a relationship with my mother. And I think that's so beautiful. Forgiveness is so important. I agree with her 100%. I really respect the fact that she has the courage and the mindset to know I have to forgive or this may kill me. But that doesn't mean she doesn't hold her mother accountable. Her mother must be held accountable for what she allowed to happen under her roof. That's none of our business. We shouldn't be going on in her social media or sending her message. It's none of our business. And I agree with Johnny Blaze on that. But when the mother came out with this public video and she's crying and she's acting like she's the victim, what the mother should have said is, I didn't know how to choose a man. For whatever reason, I didn't know how to choose a man. I choose a disgusting individual that molested my daughter, and I allowed it to happen, and I knew it happened, and I didn't have the courage, I wasn't in the psychological state to protect my child, because that's what a mother is. A mother and a father is a protector. I didn't have the strength and courage to protect my child. And I was working hard and I was trying to provide for her, but this man was more important to me than my child. And see, and this is what is the problem with a lot of mothers. You want a man more than you want to be a mother. Listen, I get it. You had a baby with a man, it didn't work out. And I'm not really speaking to divorced women or widows. They fall into a different category. You had a baby by a man, it didn't work out. Well, sis, you missed your chance. Now you need to go ahead and focus on raising these kids. That is your priority. It's not dating. It's not being out in the club. It's not, I got to get me a man, girl. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you blew that chance. Once you had children, your priority was never again going to be getting a man. Now, if a man comes in your life that is God-fearing, he's healthy, maybe he has kids, you have kids, it seems like it's a right fit, y'all are going to take things slow, that can happen. That can happen. Y'all are going to create a blended family. I love it. I love it. Because everybody makes mistakes. Not saying that the child was the mistake, because I do believe the Bible tells us that God knew us before we were in the womb. God knew us while we were there being formed in our mother's womb, which is why I don't believe in abortion, because the Bible clearly tells us. I believe in being sexually responsible. Anytime you lay down with a man, I don't care if you're on birth control, I don't care if you're using a condom, I don't care. Just put it in your mind, I can get pregnant. So you shouldn't be having sexual relations with anybody that couldn't be the father of your child and your husband. And that's the truth. And that's what's wrong with our society. Women don't think like this anymore. Then they get caught up in a situation and the man is irresponsible, or he doesn't like you. He doesn't like your personality. He never liked you. He was just trying to get in between your legs. And then he leaves. And then he goes off and gets married and has a family, and you're left with the child. Now you're still young and you want to date, and you're bringing these men into your home to live with your teenage daughter. When I hear a woman has a teenage daughter anywhere from between the ages of 6 up to 18, when I hear a woman brings a man to live, not your husband, when I hear a woman brings a boyfriend into her home with her teenage daughter, I know you're a sorry mother. That instantly tells me you are a sorry mother, because you will bring a stranger under your roof with a child, with a man that's not her father, while she showers, walks around in her little shorts, walks around in her robes. Some of these mothers are complete degenerates, and they want some sex more than they want to be a mother. They want to party more than they want to be a mother. They want to be a boss chick more than they want to be a mother. They want to be a CEO more than they want to be a mother. And that is the truth about motherhood. And what my mother showed me through motherhood is a sacrifice. When I see the way my mother sacrificed for me, I remember one time I wanted this prom dress, and I was a plump. Y'all know I've been big my whole life, like plump my whole life. Never morbidly obese, but I've always been a bit overweight my whole life. And you know, when you're in high school, you kind of self-conscious about it. Well, you should always be self-conscious about it because no woman should be overweight. We should all be striving to be healthy. Okay. But you know, you when you're younger, you're really self-conscious about it, right? So I remember I wanted this prom dress, and it was $150, I believe. And y'all know back in the day, $150 was some money. Okay. You know, my parents were middle class. They weren't like low income or anything, but still they were raising 3 kids. It's 3 of us. It's my sister, my brother, and me. And I remember I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I want this prom dress. And she was like, okay, I'll meet you down there. So she met me at the department store. We went to look at the dress. I tried the dress on for her. And I was like, Mom, I gotta have this dress. And I don't know if my mom had the money or not. I don't know. I don't know what she had to cut back for herself. I don't know if she didn't go to the hairdresser next month, or maybe she didn't go get her. I don't ever really remember my mother getting a lot of nails done and pedicures. I don't remember my mother being self-absorbed in herself. She always looked great now. Her hair was always done. She always wore beautiful outfits, but I don't remember her being absorbed in herself. She was absorbed in her children, and she took care of herself and she tried to look good. But motherhood is a sacrifice. And sometimes with my mom, when we talk about that prom dress, she's like, yeah, that was a lot of money. So you know what that shows me? That shows me that was a sacrifice for my mother to dress. That was a sacrifice. And I never hear people speak of motherhood in the term of sacrificial role that is required to be a mother. Now, I have 4 nephews. My sister has 2 kids. My sister is my best friend in life. My sister talks all the time about motherhood. I was an educator for over a decade. I know the effects of children being raised in single-parent homes, girls being abused and molested, and that is why I'm very sensitive to sexual abuse. I am very sensitive to it because I have taught young girls who have been through this. And I have no respect for you. No, I don't give you any grace. I don't, because this is about the children. This is about the children. This is not about the adults. This is about the children. If you are a mother, you have no business shacking up. And particularly with girls, but even boys, because do y'all know boys are being sexually molested too at a very high rate? No one talks about that. No one talks about the boys. But you shouldn't have no man in that your boy either. If a man wants you, he should date you, court you, and put a ring on your finger, and y'all should go commit and be married and work it out and stay married. You have no business bringing in men around teenage girls. You are out of order. You disgust me. So to my lovely Patreon subscriber, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. Got married. You raised all your girls under one roof. You're not into drugs. I'm sure you're not in love on the weekends. Keep doing it, Mom. Keep doing it. Keep talking to your daughter. Just talk to her. Talk to her about your life. Talk to her about how your life is so different from when you were a young girl. Tell your children the truth. Children are not stupid. They are not stupid, okay? They know what's going on. They are very aware. They are very aware. They are not stupid. Encourage your daughter to do the right thing when you see her going down the wrong path. But as long as she's financially independent, if we're talking about an adult child that's financially independent, there's nothing you can do. Love her. Continue to give wise counsel. That's all you can do once your girls have reached a point where they're 18 and up, and they can go off, have as much sex as they want, and they can jack up, and they can do whatever they want. There's nothing you can do about that once your adult daughter is at a certain age, but the behavior that you modeled for the young girl up to the point where she goes out into the world is going to be the most impactful. It's going to be the most impactful part of a young girl's life. And that's why I speak so highly of my mother, my aunts, my grandmothers, both my grandmothers. Because every woman in that family, while we all have flaws, every woman in that family, in my family, demonstrated ladylike behavior in their speech, talk, dress, lifestyle. And I have an aunt that never got married. Both my aunts never got married. I have two aunts that never got married. They lived very good lives, you know. They decided to dedicate their lives to, I think one aunt was sick, but one aunt just took care of her grandmother. She dedicated her life to working and taking care of my elderly grandmother. I don't know if she ever wanted to get married. I never asked her. But one thing I never saw her doing is laying with men. Even though she was a single woman who I assume was celibate, because I never really heard her talk about men that way. I never really saw her date in my childhood. I never really saw her around men. And as far as being like gay, I never saw her around women either. She was a loner. So some people in this life will not get married, okay? And it doesn't mean they won't have a fulfilling life. But even an aunt that never got married taught me how to be a lady in her speech, in her behavior, not laying out with men, not partying on the weekend, being a good woman. So when I went off to college, I went to parties, I went to clubs, I had fun in college, but I never went so far because of how I was raised, okay? When I started dating, there was a certain way I was moving because my mother's voice, my father's voice, my grandmother's voice, my auntie's voice, all the women who were pivotal in my life, when I was acting up, I could hear their voice in my head. I knew they didn't raise me to be out here wild out. And that's why I've never been a wild woman. Yeah, I've attended parties, I pledged, you know, I was in my 20s. I did normal things that 20, 22, 23, 24-year-old women do, but I never went so far as to destroy my whole life because I had that influence. So what can you do as a mom? Be a good role model. Keep these men out of your house if they're not your husband. And even when they become your husband, you better know who you're marrying. When you bring a man into a household that's not the biological father of that child, because whether you want to believe it or not, a lot of people say, oh, well, biological fathers abuse children too. Go look at the data. The data shows you it happens more with cohabitating people. Okay? That is rare for a biological father to sexually touch his daughter. That means that person has a demon in them. That means that person is mentally possessed by a demon. That means you would have to be the spawn of Satan to touch your child in a sexual way. That is rare. Biological fathers, by and large, do not touch their daughters. But I tell you who is touching your daughters, Pookie, Ray, the boy that you hooked up with, you only know him for 6 months, you only know him for a year, you didn't move him in with your 15-year-old daughter that's overdeveloped, she got boobs, she got behind, he looking at her as she switch around in the house, you're out of order. You are out of order. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I'm going to go a step further. Social services, if they did already have all the sorry mothers who couldn't take care of children that are in the foster care system, that are in the, there's so many children in the foster care system, so many children growing up in group homes. If we got all these good parents, why all these children in group homes, in foster care? I'll take it a step further. Those of you who shack up with your boyfriend, with your children, you deserve to have your children taken away from you. Yes, I said it. Be mad. You deserve to have your children taken away from you if you are shacking with a man that's not your husband. With teenage boys and girls, you're out of order. You're out of order. So that's all I have to say about this. Thank you for this requested video. Mom, just be a good mom. Lead by example. Take your 22-year-old daughter's miniskirt off. You are 40. Act like a 40-year-old. Wear a 40-year-old outfit. That's not saying you can't be cute, you can't be stylish, you can't be current. If you dress like a 20-year-old, you're probably a sorry mom. You your 20-year-old daughter come over and y'all lighting the block together. You probably sorry mom. And I'm not saying don't smoke your marijuana. You know, it's legal in some states. It's from the earth. Okay, I really don't get into issues of should you not. But you definitely should not be doing that with your child because you're an adult and you need to keep children out of adult business, include your adult children. They need to be out of your business. You drink wine every night. Your children don't need to know that. What if your daughter sees you drinking glasses of wine every night and she says to herself, Mom drinks 3 glasses of wine every night. I think I'm going to drink 3 glasses of wine every night. Now, what if she becomes an alcoholic though? Because people respond differently to alcohol. She sees you drinking a bottle, tipping up a bottle every night. Now she tipping up a bottle every night. Now you might turn your own daughter into alcohol and not even know it. But you can drink 3 glasses of wine. It don't affect you like that, but it may affect her badly. So I don't think parents understand that you are the role model and you decided to sign certain parts of your life away when you decided to have a child. The moment you decide to have a child, you have signed over some of your autonomy to someone else forever until they die. A good parent, my mom is still my mom, and I'm a grown woman. And my mom is still my mom. She ain't my little friend. She is not my little friend. She's my mom. So I think you're doing an excellent job. Thank you for showing your daughter I know how to pick a husband. I know how to stay married, and I know how to raise y'all up under this roof. And if you made a mistake, if you made poor choices, get it together. Get your life together. Stop worrying about dating. Raise your children. If you meet a nice guy in your church or in your social group, or you're taking a trip somewhere, your grandma has the kids, and you meet a nice guy, and he's interested in you, and he's a man of character, hey, go for it. Go for it. But don't move him in. That's out of order. All right? All right, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for this topic. I'll talk to you later. Bye.